Today was a rough day. Welcome to SCHMIEL Show. I like one-way signs. I like sharks. I like the reminder to keep going forward. There is no reverse, there is no turning around. The only way is through. It's just fundamental to life. Because that's what life is. That's the only way to live life. There's only forward. There's no going back. Even if you do go back, it's different. It's not the same. There is no back. There's only forward. I like that old quote. What was it? It's like, when you're marching through hell, keep marching. Get through it. Something along those lines. There's days when I can just look around at the circumstances that my life consists of and just think, man, I am just a real piece of shit. And that's when it's helpful to remind me to keep marching. Because if I stop and I sit down here, I lay here where I am, I'm always going to just be a real piece of shit. We like to talk about life in lots of fun little quotes, right? Fun little idioms. Things we take as great truths about the world simply because they're clever, or they rhyme, they sound nice. The real value they bring is just gravitas. The thing is, you can make anything sound profound if you put it in quotes, attribute it to someone people value, if you say it with the right tone of voice. A lot of these things just kind of contradict each other, right? For example, right? Life's a big gumbo of contradictions, a swirling pot. You do your best to make sense of. Here's this idea. Here's a familiar idea, right? The past will repeat itself, right? It's kind of the fundamental of education. It's kind of the fundamental principle behind ideas, behind knowledge. It's how we know anything, because we've seen it happen in the past. We predict the future based on patterns. Those patterns is basically just a way of looking at the past. And a pattern is basically just the idea of looking at the past and assuming it's going to repeat itself. But another thing we like to say is everything changes. They're both true, though. Patterns have allowed us to do much of what we've done. It allows us to build on what we've learned in the past. It allows us to learn, right? But change, in a sense, breaks patterns, right? Change is about breaking patterns. Change is what allows us to be better than we were yesterday. It allows us to grow. In a sense, we use the patterns to create change, right? I guess the idea is it's never the same pattern. We use one pattern to break a different pattern. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I think a lot of sorting out life is figuring out how all these on the face contradictory things actually fit together and appreciating all the little nuance. And stay away from ideas of always and nevers and never being too confident in anything we believe, right? See, I just did it right there, right? Talking about never saying never, and then I go saying never. You look at it, and the thing doesn't make sense, but in your heart, it doesn't seem contradictory, right? Language isn't precise. We can use it precisely, but the way we normally use it isn't. I think that's what leads to a lot of these little contradictions and things. To things seeming to not make sense. But here I go on a random tangent. This isn't what I wanted to talk about tonight. Although it ties in a little bit. That's the conflict right now. Because I look at the pattern of my life and see where I've been in the past. And it's very easy and very natural to believe that that pattern will repeat itself. And that's where I'll continue to be. Just a real piece of shit. But change is a thing. And the only way I'll live to see that thing is to keep marching forward, to obey the one-way sign. Now, it'd be so arrogant to think I can turn back, like there's anything to even go back to. Sometimes it's nice to be reminded to just keep going forward. Sometimes you gotta say the words to yourself, even when they feel empty and hollow, and just a little idiom, I don't know. Intellectually, I know it's the truth. But isn't that a weird thing when the truth can just feel so fucking hollow? But that's all there is to do. Keep going forward.